Hello, my name is Tolu. I'm a program manager at Google, and before this, I was a partner manager at Uber. My goal is to get you to apply to Google and to apply to jobs in the tech industry in general. Now, if you've applied before and it hasn't worked out, then I want to share some of my perspective and experience and hope that it'll help you make a stronger application and get an opportunity next time. And it's important that you apply because you're needed in tech. Now, I'll go into why you're needed in tech in a little bit, but just know that it's important that you get this opportunity and start working in tech because your perspective is missing from tech right now. Now, why would you want to work in tech? Now, I'll show you some of the things that I found exciting about working in tech in hopes that it gets you excited about working in tech as well. Now, in addition to working with great people on great products and services that virtually everyone uses, you get to have some benefits or perks that you typically don't see in other industries. Now, for starters, there's a lot of ways to make sure that you're relaxed and having a good time at work. If you're in the Google California, the headquarter office, there's a swimming pool that you can use at any point during the day. You have a bunch of different, very comfortable sitting arrangements. You have hammocks if you like to swing while you work. You also have massage points. So at any point in the day, you can go to a masseuse and you can get a massage just to make sure you're relaxed and doing your best at work. There are also video games. If you prefer to relax with video games or just something you like to play for fun, you have mini golf, you have pool, table tennis, board games, you have video games, whatever kind of games you like, it probably exists in the office and you can play it as much as you want. Now, there are also gyms, nap rooms, and a bunch of other stuff. I don't want to list them all because I can spend a lot of time talking about perks, but I will talk about one that for me is my personal favorite, and that's just the amount of free food there is in the office. When it comes to snacks, whatever snacks you like, maybe it's cookies or chips or dessert, you probably find as much of it as you want in the office. And there are also full meals. If you get in early enough, you can probably get breakfast, lunch. And if you leave late enough, you can also get dinner. So you can have 3 meals in the office if you're in the office for long enough. And then my personal favorite when it comes to food is that there are chefs in the office that can actually teach you how to make food. So you can attend a cooking class and learn how to make food and take that food home to eat with you or even eat it for that meal. So just a lot of perks that can get you excited about working in the office. So I hope I've gotten you excited. And if I have, the first thing I want you to think about, which is what I thought about when I got into tech, was who gets to enjoy these benefits? Who actually gets to enjoy these perks on a day-to-day basis? And there are a lot of ways you can look at a different employee that Google and other tech companies have. But some that stood out to me was one, is the gender of the people at Google. So you have about twice as many men as you have women working at Google. Now, the general population is more like 50-50. So in the world, you have more 50% women and 50% men. That means women are underrepresented at Google. And it's not just at Google. You see this at other tech companies as well. You have a smaller population of women. Now, this means that we're not getting as much input from women in these products and services as we possibly can, which means we need to do better at getting more women to work in tech and to work at places like Google. So if you're women watching this, please, you're needed in tech because your perspective can help make sure that the products and services that Google makes is not just for a select group of people, but it's for everyone. And it also applies with ethnicity. There are some groups that are underrepresented at Google. You don't have as many people working in these companies or working at Google and in tech companies as you have in the general population. So once again, want you to feel encouraged to apply and find a job in tech so that you can shape how these products and services are made so that they can truly be made for everyone. Now, I hope I've gotten you excited and I hope that you see why you're needed. And if you do, I'll go into what the process looks like. So now you're excited, now you want to get a job at Google. What is the process for you to get a job? Well, I'll start out by showing you what Google's recruiting philosophy is, Google's recruiting process is. If you go on Google's website, you will see these listed out. Google looks at 4 things when considering your application. So Google looks at your Googliness, your leadership, your general ability, and your role knowledge. Now, I'll spend a bit of time talking about each of these four things. I'll start first with role knowledge. For me, I think that a lot of people don't know just how many opportunities there are at Google. I used to think there were only engineering jobs. You have to be a phenomenal programmer to get a job at Google, but that's not true. You have to be a phenomenal programmer if you want a programming job at Google. But there's so many other jobs and so many different divisions and departments that may need you because you have the talent and abilities for that specific role. So I'll cover some of the different departments. So you do have engineering and technology, or people who are typically writing code, but you also have sales, services, and support. The people that are making sure that Google's client and customers understand their product and can make an informed decision. So if that's you, if you're someone who likes to talk to people, who like to get them excited about the products and services that Google offers or a company offers, then you could be perfect for sales and services. There are also people in marketing and communication that are making sure that people understand what Google products and services do. So people are placing ads and getting information out to people to understand the product. And that may be your skill set. There are also people in design, business strategy, people in finance. If you're great with numbers, if you like to look at how the company can be successful financially, then there may be a good job waiting for you in that area. There are also people working in legal, people working with people, and people working on making sure the facilities are serving all the people that work at Google. So if you are, for example, someone who likes to make sure that people are doing okay, are being treated fairly, are enjoying their experiences, then you may be great for working in the people portion of Google. And I'm just giving these broad categories so you can get a sense, but to make it more concrete, here's some roles that I didn't know existed before getting into tech that may actually be perfect based on your experience, based on your interest, based on what you want to do in the future. So there are people who are partner managers, people who are UX designers, people who are business analysts, marketing managers, product managers, copywriters, and the list goes on and on. And I don't want to spend time talking about each one of these because it can take a long time to go through all the roles. But I do want you to look at the different departments, look up what the different roles entail on the Google website so you can figure out what could be a good fit for you and what is interesting to you, because there may be something out there that you haven't heard of before that may actually be the perfect job for you. So let's say you find that perfect job and you know exactly what you want to do at Google. Well, now I'll talk about how do you go about getting the job? What's the process? What is Google looking for from you to make sure you can come to the company? And the first is Googliness. Now, this one is very difficult to capture. People have different ways of expressing it, but I see it as you being a cultural fit, you being the kind of person that would be a good fit to work at Google. Now, it's hard to say how an interviewer, if you're going to interview, will determine that, but from talking to people and from my own experience, one way that you can increase the possibility that you come across as someone who would be a good fit is to show how interested you are in Google's products and services. So take a look. Google has a lot of products and services. So I listed a few up here. You have Google Search, you have Stadia, which is a gaming platform. You have Waymo, self-driving cars, YouTube for videos and content. You have Chromebook, which are laptops that Google makes. And you also have Android that powers Android phones. Now, you can actually, if you find any of these just intriguing or interesting, maybe you're especially interested in self-driving cars, then do as much research, learn as much as you can about that product or service. Figure out why Google started it or why Google's interested in it, what Google wants to do with it in the future. Look up as much as you can. If you can contribute in some way, then contribute. Some of these things are open source and you can actually go and give your opinion. That's a way you can show that you are truly interested in Google and want to contribute to Google in a meaningful way. Now, as I said, this isn't just about Google. You could take the same approach and apply it to Facebook or Amazon or whichever company you're interested in the tech industry. But do some research, look into it, and find ways you can possibly contribute. And one of the easy ways you may be able to contribute is through Google's programs. If you go on Google's website, you'll see that there's so many different programs that Google tries to get people involved with Google. Now, There's so many of them. I also don't want to go into it, but go on the website. There are some that are geared specifically for high school students, some for college students, some for people more further along in their professional journey. Find the ones that apply to you and the ones that you can take advantage of, because it'll also help you show not only that you're interested in Google, but that you are ready to take advantage of what Google has to offer. Now, you also get to meet people who are working at Google, so you get a sense of what Google's culture is like, and when you're applying, you can actually have more to say about why you want to work at Google. So take advantage of the programs. They're free programs that can get you a step closer to getting that job that you think is a perfect fit for you. Now, beyond that, one of the big things that I struggle with trying to understand how best to get experience in and to show when I'm applying for a job is leadership. Now, I used to think about leadership in a very small way. I think about leadership as being the president of your graduating class or being the captain of a team in your school. And those do give you chances to be a leader, to have leadership, but there are other ways you can get leadership as well. One of the ways I see people underlook, or I should say overlook, is by volunteering. Volunteer for a nonprofit. Volunteer for something in your school. Volunteer for something in your community. Typically, programs or organizations that are looking for volunteers are more willing to give you a leadership opportunity. One of the things that made a huge difference for me in applying to jobs was when I was in school, I was very interested in public speaking and giving presentations. So I actually looked at the different organizations that did work there and said, hey, I want to volunteer for you all. I want to do some work that helps make this organization better. One of the programs I volunteered for was a program called Toastmasters. It's an international organization, and they happen to have a chapter that was based in my university. So some people who attended the chapter were from the university. Some of them were just professionals from the community. And I started, I think it was my sophomore year, I started volunteering, made it known that I was interested in doing as much as I possibly can. And by my junior year, the year after I started volunteering, I got an opportunity to be a leader within the organization, within the club, within the chapter. I was actually leading people who had dozens of years of experience in the corporate world. People were then able to give me tips and advice on how to develop myself as a leader. So just by volunteering, I found myself in a position where I was getting mentorship and advice from people who had many years of experience. You may be able to do the same thing if you find opportunities to volunteer in your community, to volunteer in your school, to volunteer wherever there is an opportunity to volunteer. And when you get the experience, when you go into the interview, you can talk about it. You can say, hey, this is why I think I have leadership qualities. It's because I've had these opportunities to lead and I've done well in those opportunities. So find ways to volunteer so you can get those leadership experiences and then be able to demonstrate leadership when you go into the interview process. Now, the next one is general ability. Now, general ability speaks to your ability to think and solve problems in a way that Google is looking for. You have the ability to have a good framework for tackling and solving problems. Now, this one, the best advice I have there is you just got to practice as much as possible. Now, I've posted a video here, and you can find it on YouTube, but you can find other videos as well where people talk about the questions you can get and your approach. So I don't want to repeat things that are readily available to you, but it's so important to actually take the time to practice for these questions. Google actually gives you the framework that you can use to solve or to answer questions that they use to assess your general ability when you go into the interview process. They tell you, hey, do this, do that, and try to give this kind of answer when you're answering these questions. So don't just try and rely on, hey, I'm just going to do well in the interview because I'm a good interviewer or because I'm good at solving problems. Because while you may be good at solving problems, they can only assess how good you are based on the answer you give during your interview. So practice so that how good you are comes across when you're actually interviewing. You're working on your communication so your communication can match your ability. And the way you do that is by practice. Find someone that's willing to practice with you. Maybe someone that's also looking for a job in the industry. Maybe someone that already has a job at a place like Google or whichever tech company you want to work at. and practice as much as possible so that by the time you get to an interview, you can do a good job of communicating just how well you can solve problems. It's very important that you practice. Now, I've basically covered all 4 portions of what Google is looking for. But one thing I want to share is that in addition to having those 4, you also want to try to find a path for yourself into whichever company is of interest to you. Now, there are many people who've gone many different routes to get to the job they have either at Google or another company. So as you find a job that's ideal for you, try to see how other people have gotten into that job. When I started thinking about applying to Uber, which is my first tech company, I started seeing what path other people had taken to get there. One of the things I saw was that a lot of people actually had consulting experience, and that had helped them get into jobs at tech companies. So I actually got some consulting experience before I applied to a job in tech. Now, you may be able to apply and get a job right into a tech company immediately. That would be great. But sometimes you may need to get some experience in some other industries and then apply that experience into tech. So don't just think about a straight line. Sometimes you may go somewhere and get experience elsewhere, and then that will help you be the ideal candidate for the job that you want at a tech company. Now, I'll show a little bit of my own path. After graduating from college, I actually got into consulting, and right after consulting, I had some tough times where actually my consulting company laid me off, and I had to rethink about what I wanted to do. Do I want to stay in consulting? Do I want to do something else? And I gave it a lot of consideration and decided to stay in consulting because I knew I wanted to work in tech down the road, and being in consulting would give me experience to be able to work in tech. Now, as I was thinking about working in consulting, that itself can be difficult. So I started finding first ways in which I can make sure that I got a good step into consulting. Now that turned into me getting a lot of certifications and taking a lot of trainings. And that's one thing else I want to call out is that Google offers a lot of training and certifications. LinkedIn offers some as well. There are a lot of them that are free and available on the internet. Try to do as many of them as possible. I know that Open School Nigeria has been encouraging and pushing for those certifications. And I just want to double up and say those are so important. They can help you get into tech, or maybe even help you get into what job you're going to get before you get into tech. Maybe that's a job in marketing. Maybe that's a job in consulting. But companies are looking at these certifications. They're looking at your credentials and how much you've actually developed the skills that are specific to their company or specific to their industry. So make sure you take advantage of the free certifications, free learning that companies offer. Take as many as possible and make sure your resume looks great. So for me, I was able to get the certifications. It helped me get into my next consulting job and then another consulting job. And then that's when I was ready. That's when I had a strong application for working in tech. And from consulting, I made a move into Uber, and from Uber, made a move to Google. So find a path, look at the people who are in the jobs that you're interested in, see how they got there, and that may help you decide how you want to take your own path into tech. And if you can't even talk to them, ask them why they took the path they took. Ask them what skills they learned along the way that you may be able to get by taking another path to get to that job. So try to make or find a path that works for you and get a job that you will love and be able to do great at. Thank you for the time, and excited to see you working at Google or some other tech companies sometime soon.